Hey YouTube, Douglas here. Today I'd like to talk about my recently purchased Yama coffee tower. It can make tea or coffee. So far I've only made coffee in it. I'd like to start at the top and then work down through each section until we get to the bottom. There's a glass cap that goes on top. If you drop it, you're probably going to break it. They do have replacements if you need one. The water in the top here is actually coffee that went through the system once already. It's got a yellow tint to it. And there's actually some ice cubes that have melted, but there's still ice in there. I can get a quick read on what the actual temperature is with my thermometer. And I think it's saying it's 30. That must be on a piece of ice. Let's see what else it gives me. 34 degrees. So the water's fairly cold. And that's kind of what you want it when you're making your cold brew coffee. The next area I like to talk about is the spigot, where you can control the rate. So the rate should be set right around about a drop around every second. And you can play with that. But that's the ideal rate that you're looking for. And then just by turning the valve, you can control that rate. Moving to the middle beaker, you can see the coffee grounds and you can see the paper filter, but what you can't see, and probably the most important thing in this whole process, or one of the most important things, is actually the ceramic filter that sits in the very bottom here. So when you start this process, the first thing they tell you to do is go ahead and flood it so you get all your grounds wet. Because you can see that these grounds here aren't even wet yet. And they should be wet. So run about 10 mil or so of water on top of the coffee grounds and get them soaked up. And you can see the coffee going down through the spiral tube and down to the bottom beaker where it's caught. Now, I'm going to go back here and adjust this because I moved it. But if I get this back to about 1 drop per second, and I don't have a timer on right now, it'll make pretty darn good coffee. I've made several batches of it, and I've really enjoyed drinking it. The other thing that's important is this white disc in here, which is nothing more than actually a coffee filter, and it disperses the fluid over the top of the coffee grounds so you get a better brew. Some of the results I have are here in these bottles, and they're from different, obviously different coffees, because you can see the color difference in them, how dark or how light they are. And I've used a variety of beans, which I probably won't disclose what they are right now. But overall, with this Yama coffee maker that's actually made in Taiwan, I would say that this is a pretty darn good product, and if you're into this, this is probably something you might want to consider on your next trip to Amazon.